I don't know about you guys, but I've always considered myself pretty good at video games. Growing up, obviously I played a lot of video games in my house, and whenever friends would come over or I'd play with my brother or whatever, I would win like most of the time. I remember having Halo LAN parties, and it was just the joke that I would just always win, which is, you know, it's a blessing and a curse. Admittedly, it's fun always winning. It's good, but it kind of sucks when people just don't want to play with you anymore because they never end up winning. So it was never like I was the person who always took it, I guess, more seriously in the regard that if I lost, I'd be like, oh damn, I lost a game. I need to practice this. I need to get better. Like, it was an actual skill that I always wanted to improve. So when I joined the online competitive community, it was a big blow to my ego. It was fucking frustrating because I realized that I was basically, you know, growing up and even into my fucking adult life, you know, I was a medium-sized fish in a small pond. I first ran into this in playing Heroes of the Storm, because in that game, I think was the first time that I ever tried to worry about MMR or matchmaking or anything. There was the ladder climb in Warcraft 3, but I've always, admittedly, been really bad at RTSs. I enjoy playing them and sucking at them, but I enjoy playing at them and sucking at them with other people that also suck at them. And I've never really had any desire to, like, learn how to get competitively good at RTSs. It's for some reason, it's just nowhere near the same drive as it is for first-person shooters for me. I don't know why. I respect the skills of a first-person shooter more than an RTS player for some reason. Or not the skills. I respect the skills no matter what. I just have more of a drive to actually improve my ability to aim and predict where the enemy's going to be than my multitasking and clicking and grouping around the map, and just RTS. They don't really do it for me. Like that doesn't seem fun. Anyways, so I never really played, because of that, I never played much of League of Legends or Dota or any of those games that popularized the MMR system as we know it today. Because mainly I just had, again, going back to Warcraft 3, bad experiences with the Dota community. Like, it was way back in the day when you had the custom game browser that was just awful by today's standards. You'd log into a game and download it, and anytime you try to download Dota, people understandably kicked you out because that means you'd never played it before and they didn't want a noob on your team. And I think that is a big reason why the MOBA community started out as toxic as it was. And it's gotten better-ish, I think, nowadays, just because of all the various game companies that actually know how to reduce toxicity in a game. For some reason, fucking Heroes of the Storm, though, they only give allied chat, which to my definition of toxicity is talking shit to your allies. Like, that is where toxicity happens. Talking shit to your own team's plays and reducing morale. When you talk shit to the enemy, that's just shit talking. That's just part of the game. That's just fun. But I understand I'm in the minority of that, and maybe I'll go over that later. Anyways, so I started playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm, and I actually did really well. After having never played a MOBA before, I played that game for about a year, and I got to rank 1, which you couldn't get any higher. Like, that was the top rank that the game showed you. Obviously, there was competitive players and teams and stuff, and it's a lot more serious now. It's a lot fucking harder, I think, to climb now, because a lot more people are in the game, and a lot of the more serious players were, you know, they were playing League of Legends and Dota and stuff, so they weren't all in Heroes of the Storm. It was again, it was a small pond, like I said. So I think playing something like Overwatch, which a lot of popular and skilled players do play, and it is a big pond, and I'm realizing I'm not quite as big a fish as I thought I was, has been a real eye-opener to me, and it's honestly been kind of like, it's been a mental struggle, because I've realized that I'm weak. I'm a weak person at heart. I have very little willpower. I have grown very accustomed to being a winner and a voice of authority when it comes to video games, and I am trying really hard to earn that title when it comes to Overwatch, as you can tell by the hours I've put in. And it's like I said, I don't want to get into a big thing about my rank or anything, but I have noticed that just being part of a matchmaking system where you lose 50% of your games is really hard for me. I feel like I'm losing all the time, even though the statistics indicate otherwise. Because, like I said, growing up and being a medium-sized fish in a small pond, you start to get accustomed to winning. Like, winning any less than like 70% to me felt like I was losing all the time. And even games like Team Fortress, like, it's just a thing. It's a thing in my brain. Like, I know, like, I was first place at the end of every single game. That was common. That was expected of me. So to go from being a winner and on top and in first place in a lot of games to losing half my games and having very little control, it's actually done a huge blow to my morale. And again, I'm not saying this like because I'm like good at these games. Obviously there's a lot of people out there that are better than me, but I think that being part of a community where you're or not being a part, but when you're playing public games, you're getting exposed to the, let's say TF2, you're getting exposed to the TF2 community as a whole. Like, anyone can join. So when people do jump in, I think a lot of what I had learned to, mainly from my experience with playing Smash Brothers, what I had learned to do was sort of prey on the weak to pad my scores, and that's where a lot of my strengths came in, was getting kills from new players and sort of like singling out the fucking the young or the sick, like pulling the herd that way, and that made me, I think, bad at playing against teams where there was really no weakest link, because a lot of the things that I would do, even going back to like saying like Battlefield, is you go hide behind enemy lines and then you wait for people and you pick them off. Like, you do stupid plays and they almost always worked out because you're playing against randos, and it's fun to do those ridiculous stupid plays. Like, fucking, again, like Battlefield 1942, getting onto an enemy carrier as the engineer and like throwing C4 and like trying to blow it up. Like, I would actually get a good score from that, from killing the people who were actually dumb enough to spawn there, and it wasn't like a competitive environment. So again, TF2, you do the same thing, be a spy, sit in the sniper's nest, fucking backstab people. Like, I always like to employ these ridiculous strategies, and they were working for me because I did them so much and I got so good at them. But now, playing a game like Overwatch, where I'm constantly being pitted against people that are at my skill level, it's fucking rough, because I still try to do these stupid strategies every once in a while, and you'll probably sometimes see that in videos where I'll like try and sneak around the back line as Ryan when I have Hammer Down, thinking I can kill the entire team. Like, I know it's dumb when I'm doing it, but I think this inflated sense of ego that I have is what makes me think that I'll get away with it, because I'm used to playing against people that are worse than that. So I've noticed a big weakness in myself that I need to work on is not respecting the enemy's skill levels. And I see that a lot in Overwatch. I see that a fuck ton in Overwatch. Of course, everyone in every game seems to think that they are like the shit, that they should be the team captain calling the shots, and they know what's best for their team, when no one else is listening to them, and they're like, oh, well, I'll just throw the game because no one's listening and I'm the best person, and you know, you see these people who are like, just pocket me and I'll carry us. Like, dude, we're all at the same fucking rank, dude. No one's fucking carrying anyone. But I think a lot of people dropped down in ranks inevitably because everyone thinks their skill level is what their highest rank is, which I don't even think that rank has anything to do with skill level in Overwatch, but again, that's a talk for another day. So it gets this inflated sense of ego, and then when everyone does drop down to like gold and plat and shit, then they think that all their teammates are terrible and all the enemies are terrible, without realizing that probably most people down there have also hit a run of bad luck or started playing terribly or something, and so they've also dropped down to that level. So there's this lack of respect for your teammates that I've noticed that makes people really quite... It makes the whole games frustrating, because people are willing to throw for no reason, like, oh, well, I'm just down here with these plats who don't know how to play, and so I'm just not gonna try either, and so everyone's just not trying. And again, I will say, I guess I'll bring rank into it for a little bit. I have finally managed to climb using my my fucking strategy, which, again, I've always been convinced that when you play solo, you're just at the mercy of fate, and now that I've been joining some of my fans on my Discord server and playing, I have unsurprisingly climbed like 500 SR already. It's been like less than a month, and because I have people to play with that aren't randos, that don't just give up for no reason, then that's just how you climb. If you're fucking solo, you can't climb. So personally, I'm back into Diamond. I'm sure I'm gonna be shooting back into Master soon at the rate things have been going, because I am winning like 70% of my games now, which is why I'm coming back full circle with this. I'm getting used to it, which is gonna suck, again, once I do get back into the higher ranks where we start losing again, I'm sure, but I've noticed, because I've been in just a better mood lately, because I've been winning more Overwatch, like, that's, it's affected actually my entire life. I guess that's the risk you run as a fucking gamer on YouTube, is that when, like, these are the things that I invest myself in, and this is the way that I choose to spend my time, then it actually is mentally rewarding to do well, and it hits me pretty hard when I'm just constantly losing. But the only reason that I've even noticed this is because I have been just feeling better lately, also because my own mental issues, those have been better lately. So yeah, I guess that's my rant on my struggle with matchmaking. It's so rewarding if you know how to game the system, but it's also just painful if you think that you'll get ahead on skill alone, which you fucking won't. Like I said, I reached the top rank in Heroes of the Storm mainly because I gamed the system there too. I played whatever hero had the highest win rate, back before it was less balanced. The game was still kind of new. I remember, like, there was a time when Kael'thas was just a super necessary, powerful must-pick. Played him all the time. When Rhaegar was a must-pick, played him. And unsurprisingly, just by playing the highest win rate, you climb to the top. And I'm actually kind of doing even the same thing now in Overwatch. I'm trying to play a lot of Torbjorn and Symmetra on defense, because when you look at Master Overwatch, they actually have like a 60% win rate, because they are stronger on defense, so you buff your stats that way. So much the same that I preyed on weak players when I played against public matches to buff my stats, now I buff my stats by not just relying on skill, but instead knowing that playing with the group reduces the chances of getting flamers and trolls and salty players and leavers, and then also you buff your stats by playing the heroes with the highest win rates when they are strong, which I don't know if everyone does, but that's what I'm doing, and that's my fucking talk on matchmaking. That's my rant on matchmaking, and it is why I've been feeling better lately. So, you know, there's a plus.